Something I've been questioning for years now is the rising cost of video game making. The absolute ridiculous budget that you will see for a lot of games today. Some so high you question, where did all the money even go after playing the game for yourself? With the process of making and developing a game, a team of 200 plus employees, marketing, etc., the business of video games has become a very expensive one, while simultaneously being one of the most lucrative, if you strike gold with something. It does bring into question, though, just how high is too high? Lots of AAA games that release today have budgets in the multi-millions, which in turn pushes that game to have to make that plus more to even start seeing a profit. Games like Halo Infinite was reportedly said to cost up to $500 million to make and wasn't even received all that well, with many players leaving the game to never return in year one. Final Fantasy VII Remake, $144 million. Marvel Spider-Man 2, $300 million. Horizon Forbidden West, $212 million. God of War Ragnarok, $200 million. Starfield, over $200 million. Even games like Forspoken and Avengers, exceeding over $100 million to make. I wish I was joking. Video games today can cost a lot of dough for a developer to make, and if they're not a huge company with already a good resume, with multi-millions to spare, or backed by a huge company, having a game flop for a developer today can truly make or break a company if not prepared. This is brought into question amongst many. Is the making of games, well, AAA games in particular, a sustainable upkeep for the future of video games? Back in the PS2, GameCube, Xbox era, or hell, even before then, games for sure costed much less to create. But the standards of what was a good game back then were also lower. People didn't make or break their purchase of a video game by looking at the graphics or the frame rate it was running at, or how many hours it took to beat said game. You might have seen one trailer, seen some screenshots of it in a GamePro magazine or something, and made your decision then if you wanted the game or not. Today, before a game even releases, you have everyone and their mother doing reactions or a professional deep dive analysis on a gameplay trailer, with people critiquing every frame and screenshot of said game before they even play it.
You know what I'm saying? That's tough!
Speaking for myself, at least, the main issue I have with the budget of a lot of these games today is rarely does the quality of the game reflect that. You'll have a game be $200+ million to make, and there's little, if any, appealing aspects about it. It feels more like a chore to play than anything, and most of us by week 2 or 3 are done with it, never to return again. It kind of leaves you scratching your head in confusion when these games can cost 100 times more to make than before, only for them to not last nearly as long and the quality of the content not be as good as its older predecessors. The marketing costs to advertise these games to the masses have also been another huge strategy and challenge when it comes to the overall budget of a game, with some devs putting close to half their resources into just that alone sometimes. It's why we've seen and fell for so many times over the years that dream game that we believe was going to amount to so much more, but felt duped after launch. Games like Anthem, No Man's Sky on launch, Watch Dogs, Cyberpunk on launch, Titanfall, Destiny, the day before.
I could do this all day.
Adding even more problems to the platter is when these games release broken on launch, as they often do. It then creates an issue to where trust with us as the consumers is damaged, and on top of that, then the developer has to put even more money and resources back into something they already spent millions upon millions making.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Listen, man, pretty graphics and high budgets can only take you so far. The quality of the game will always be the final and most important hurdle of long-term success in video game making. The rise of indie games over the years is an example of this. Nintendo is an example of this. You don't have to put hundreds of millions of dollars into a game for it to be successful. You simply release a good product and let the chips fall where they may. Somewhere along the way, I feel like a lot of developers have lost sight of this. Everything now is max dollars, max profits. I've said before, I feel like Rockstar has forever changed the game industry with how a huge chunk of developers approach game development now. They've been trying to chase Rockstar's shadow and replicate their success model with GTA 5 only to come up short. A game that releases on launch with only half the game being playable for a few months. People accept it and are cool with it, then later turned into a 10+ year online money making machine, racking in billions on top of billions in revenue. It's why you see so many attempts at live service open world like games today, only for a majority of them to fall flat on their freaking face. At the end of the day though, the industry of video games, much like any other industry out there, is about bringing in them dollar bills and profiting as much as you can, and I realize that. However, the continued high cost for modern video games has been an ongoing issue to where you question its long-term sustainability. We've seen over the years a selection of some of the biggest game studios get bought out by big companies like Microsoft and Sony, most likely to ensure financial security when making these big games and not having so much pressure put on them to make a big game. Maybe that's the end game for everyone now. Do we point the fingers at the game developers themselves, the publishers, the investors, whoever? It's something that has clearly affected modern video games and is something that's become the norm for them over the years. But yeah, man, what are y'all thoughts about the topic at hand? Do you guys feel like the cost for AAA games have just gotten ridiculous over the years? Do you feel the issue is bigger than just that? Y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Till my next video, my brothers and sisters, I'll catch y'all boys in my next one. All right,